Hello and welcome back to the Watford Way. I'm James and today I'm joined by Callum as we discuss Watford versus Burnley at Vicarage Road. This normally would be a massive game. This normally would be a massive game in a relegation battle, in the mid-table battle. That is not the case this year. This year it's all about Burnley trying to stay up. Watford arguably are relegated already. Not mathematically, of course, but if we did go and lose this game, even the most positive of Watford fans would surely have to agree that there is no hope for us for the rest of the season. Callum, we do have Burnley at Vicarage Road this Saturday. Firstly, how are you doing? Secondly, are you going to the game?
Yeah, I'm doing all right, mate. I mean, it's arguably all about Burnley, really, and whether they can stay up now. I've lost practically all hope of us staying in the Premier League. I think it's now us in the second tier of English football, which is a shame. And it's all about preparation for that now. I feel like if we can get the win tomorrow, that'd be brilliant. But I have no real focus on staying in the Premier League or any hope to stay in the Premier League because we still have extremely hard games coming up. And even though if we win every single game leading up to the end of the season, which means that we would stay up by some miracle, unless Everton, Burnley and Norwich have absolute stinkers and we somehow manage to stay up in the Premier League, that would take a miracle job. Then, I'll stop believing again. But for now, I feel like it's just it's going to be championship football for us. And I'm not going to the game. I'll be watching it on TV. I would have gone to the game because it's such a crucial game for us. But the way the results have gone so far, it is looking like to be another loss. But I'll speak about that later on. So, yeah, I'm not going to the game. But, yeah, that's all I have to say, really. I've lost hope.
I mean, to be honest, Callum, from my perspective, the fact that you're not going to the game, I think you've made the right choice there by not travelling to Watford. I can't imagine it's going to be very, very exciting to watch. Everyone knows how Burnley plays, even without Sean Dyche. I think the last 3 games have picked up 7 points, which is mental. A lot of people question, Callum, the fact that when Sean Dyche was sacked, everyone was going ballistic, saying, "Why have they done this? Why have they done that?" And actually, looking at the decision now, it could really pay off in their favour because if Burnley beat Watford and Watford somehow beat Everton, Everton are suddenly in a really, really tricky situation. And Burnley are looking like they'd survive in the Premier League, it'd be an absolute miracle for them. It would certainly go down as one of the great escapes, wouldn't it, Callum?
Definitely. And it seems like Burnley have always, flirted with relegation practically every year and have somehow always managed to do it. They've always managed to stay up. So it's undecided, of course, whether this will be their time again this year because Everton, of course, now in the drop zone after the appalling run of form. It's basically going to be a 2-horse race on who stays up between Burnley and Everton now, I think. But on paper, if you look at the squad, I mean, Everton have got insane players like Van der Beek, Dele Alli, even though his career is now basically gone down the drain because he barely even gets to start for Everton now. You'd say on paper, 11 versus 11, they'd be the team that stays up. But Burnley, all of a sudden, it's become apparent that they've sacked Sean Dyche after a poor run of form, and now they're on a super run. They've literally won every game since he's been sacked. So it's looking like, obviously, with the form we're on, because we've lost every single one of our 10 home games, that form is probably going to continue. And also, as well, I just want to point out, we actually do have a chance to break a record tomorrow, and it's a record for all the wrong reasons, though. The Hornets have lost. I'm reading this off of BBC Sport, by the way. The Hornets have lost each of their last Premier League last 10 Premier League home games. No side in top flight history has ever lost 11 consecutive home games before. So we have a chance to break a record. So I hope everyone's happy about that. But Burnley, they've done a great job, to be fair, to even get where they are, to be honest, because I think they looked like they were getting relegated and Everton were just staying up. They managed to turn the tables and it could really go down as a great escape.
Oh, I'm not liking the stats you're coming out with today, Callum. So what is it, 10 defeats in a row currently, and that could go to 11 on Saturday, is that correct?
Yeah, so 10 home defeats that we've had so far, consecutively, and then we have the chance to break it tomorrow by getting 11 consecutive home defeats.
Oh, I'll tell you what, I paid a lot of money for my season ticket, Callum, and that is not what I want to be paying my money to watch. 10 home defeats in a row. Could be 11 this Saturday.
Breaking the all-time English record in the top flight. It's terrible.
Oh, just in the top flight.
Just in the top flight. Yeah, it's no side in the top flight. It's ever lost. It's 11 consecutive home game wins.
I mean, Adam makes a good point here to add to our misery, Callum. He says we currently have more losses than actual points in the Premier League.
Considering you get 3 points for a win as well, that's horrific. That's even worse than what I just said.
God, it's awful, isn't it? I can't believe Norwich are below us. Like, I think we've been the worst team in the league this season, but somehow Norwich, still seem to find themselves sitting below us, Callum.
I mean, I'm happy to say, at least I'm in confidence that Norwich are probably worse than us. And even saying that, they beat us 3-0 at home as well. So it's obviously the Vic has just become our almost our fortress, really. It's just become our curse place, which is annoying.
What's been the difference though between the teams that come up last season? We had Watford, Burnley, Norwich. What's been the difference between us, Norwich, and Brentford, really? Because Brentford have done really, really well. You'd argue we was on a level playing field with them last season. You could argue they maybe played better football as well, but in terms of points accrued in the Championship, we were very, very similar alongside Norwich as well. So why, when we then come up to the Premier League, is there such a vast difference in the amount of points that both of us have? Is it just the fact that they've stuck with their manager? Is it the fact that they've got a consistent playing style? Do they have better players than us ultimately? Yes, I think that Christian Eriksen signing in January was really, really good. I think they added essentially they're a world-class set-piece taker, and we saw that against Watford. He put in some really, really good deliveries. So for you, Callum, what's been the key difference between Brentford and kind of us and Norwich this season?
I think it goes down to a few factors. I mean, obviously, Watford, we're known as the sacking club, sacking managers left, right and centre every second of every day. So that's probably played a huge factor into it. I like Thomas Frank a lot. I think he's a great manager. And what he's done with Brentford ever since moving up to the Championship, spending a limited budget to really bring in some world-class talents that are really developed in the Premier League. Is incredible. And also, speaking about Thomas Frank, I had the pleasure to meet him last week. So that was pretty cool. So, yeah.
Hold on. Slow down, Callum. Slow down. You've just thrown that in there. I didn't even know about this. I presume this was to do with like your college course, maybe, or some opportunity with your college. Do you want to talk quickly about this?
Oh god, okay, right. I'll keep it short and sweet because this isn't a Brentford fan channel. But so I go to a college which enrolls out opportunities left, right, and centre. And I got an email the other day from the UWL, and they're holding a Brentford FC event. So I got to go down to the stadium. I got to meet up with a few of my mates that also got picked to go into the course. And it was literally just by coincidence. There was no plan to meet him, but he walked through the doors, and the tour leader basically said, "Do you want to get a photo with him?" And Thomas Frank was down. We got a photo with him, got to meet him. Really nice guy.
Wow. I tell you what, Callum, that is a very, very, very interesting story. Did you tell him about Watford, or did you mention Watford at all?
Yeah, I was going to say, if you ever think about coming to the Vic, mate, we will welcome you with open arms. I promise you that.
Is that what you said?
No, I did not say that. I was thinking in my head. It's so annoying because I wanted to post the photo on Instagram, but I think it's probably under UWL. I need to go and check that. But it'd be amazing to see Thomas Frank at the Vic, but that's probably never going to happen because he's probably more happy at Brentford than what he is with us. But anyway, moving on topic. Sorry. Yeah, Brentford, they've done exceptionally well moving out from the Championship. The managerial status and how they play, the style of play, Thomas Frank's philosophy is incredible. Bringing in players like Christian Eriksen, who else they brought in? I already like some players that moved from the Championship. I already like that Norgard, David Raya, Ivan Toney. How did I forget about him? Ivan Toney, Brian Mbumo, all these really good players, I think, have developed even better than they have in the Championship and in the Premier League. Because the English league is always known to be fast-paced, so it's really different from leagues abroad, and that's what I feel like has really separated us from other clubs. I think internationally, because everyone says the Premier League is the best league in the world, but it's all about small clubs like us compared to all the top six and stuff like that. They're really going to struggle because they're players that, are used to playing at this level and have done for many years. I mean, Watford have basically been a yo-yo club, haven't they? They've moved from the Championship down up to the Premier League. I wouldn't say they have been consecutively, but especially last year they moved up from the Championship to the Premier League, and I've obviously seen there's been a difference in the pace and compared to the Championship. Even though the Championship's quite fast, the Premier League's faster, and that's probably what's been our downfall.
Yeah, I agree. I think a yo-yo club, a constituted.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I wouldn't say yo-yo club because we've been in the Premier League for quite a few years until we moved down to the Championship.
I think what I would say, Callum, is if we go down this season, which is looking very likely, and then we come back up again, then I would say we're probably a yo-yo club, because then we've gone up, we've gone down, we've gone up, we've gone down. And it's like a never-ending cycle, isn't it? But yeah, hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully, like the past few seasons, we can have a consistent run. I think we were like 5-6 years, weren't we, in the Premier League before we got relegated? So I think that's a pretty good run for a club of Watford size. Talking about another team in the relegation battle now, we'll touch on Everton very briefly before we come back to the game. Obviously, Everton and Callum have two former Watford players. They've got Matij Vijra and they have Richarlison. It's looking very likely that they could be really dragged into this battle now. They are dragged into it already, but if Burnley beat Watford but Watford beat Everton in a couple of weeks' time, suddenly for Everton, it's getting very, very panicky. They've got a massive wage bill. They've got players on lots and lots of money. They've got a new stadium that's being built at the moment. I think for them, Callum, they really can't afford, to be relegated to the Championship. I think they've got financial fair play issues as well. So talk to me about Everton, your thoughts on them, and actually, whether they can go down this season, because I don't think they've been relegated. I think it was something like 60 or 70 years I was reading. It was a very, really, really long time ago. So yeah, ultimately, Callum, my question to you is, can Everton get relegated this season? And if so, it'll be a massive shock to the Premier League, really, and I'd argue world football. It'd be a massive, massive shock.
Definitely. I mean, there's always the chance that they can go down. I mean, especially in contention with Burnley, who are probably more likely to go down and are above them by 2 points at the moment. And Burnley will more than likely probably pick up the win against us. It does put Everton in a really troubling situation. And they have, like I said there, they have a pool of really talented players. For example, Van der Beek, I think he's only on loan, which I think he'll move back to Man United, and then Ten Hag will probably fit him in the system because they get on like a house on fire. But yeah, I mean, they have players like Van der Beek at the moment. Dele Alli's moved there permanently, and I'm sure it's not in his best interest to be playing Championship football next season, but it's looking more than more likely. Richarlison as well, and Decore, like you mentioned, they're two of our ex-players. They could be going down. In fact, we are going down, but they could be going down with us. It's crazy, and especially for the transfer fees that for players like Richarlison moved for, and Dele Alli. It's crazy to think they've actually got themselves in a situation, and I really am not convinced by Frank Lampard. I feel like he probably could have taken up a job suited to his level, because Everton, if you think about it, they've stayed, like you said there, in the Premier League for nearly 60 to 70 years, and it's such a big club, and to see it in the Championship under a manager that has no experience, and with players if they're not trying now, if the fans think they aren't trying now, it'll be a whole different level in the Championship, because players will think they're too good for that level. So it's really looking like a mess Everton at the moment, and it'd be within the best interest of all of their fans and the community to really rise up and show their support, and hopefully they can stay up at the end of the season.
Well, I don't hope they stay up. I personally want.
I mean, as a Watford fan, as fans of the relegation zone, we hope so. We hope so as well. But we hope they go down as well. So yeah.
Talking about Burnley again, once again, of course, it's a Burnley match preview. Burnley again, talking about another former Watford player. They've got Matij Vijra playing for them at the moment. He scored the other day. I think he scored the winning goal actually to get them the 3 points. He's doing really well for them lately, ever since they've made that managerial change. Sean Dyche didn't really want to use Vijra, or did use him, but he wasn't really, one of them, players who you'd assume would start every week. He'd always go with Chris Wood, Ashley Westwood, players like that. But actually, ever since Sean Dyche has gone, Vijra has been playing a lot more minutes. So is he kind of the key player for you, Callum? I know before you come on stream, you mentioned to me some injury news about Burnley. Maxwell Cornet, I don't know if you want to talk about him, because I think he's a really, really quality player. I actually want to see him play live, because I really do like him. He's been linked with Watford a few times. Left back / left winger / striker. Very strange player. He can play a number of positions, and he's really, really good. So yeah, Callum, take it away. You want to talk a bit about Maxwell Cornet and kind of the threats that Burnley have, in this new system that they're playing under their new manager?
Well, okay, right. So, Maxwell Cornet, what I've read, I think it is an accredited source, but I don't know if it's fully confirmed that he is injured, but they have serious doubts whether he'll make a trip over to the Vic tomorrow. That's all I have to say, really. I don't know what the injury is. I don't think that's been disclosed, but yeah, it's looking unlikely he'll be going over there, which is a really positive thing to hear, especially from a Watford perspective, because it's at our ground. will have the home advantage. And I think Cornet, he's an exceptional player, like you said there, and it'd be a great player to see live. He's silky, he's got pace, he can shoot, he can do it all. He can even play in defence, do a job in defence because he played left back for Lyon practically the whole season until he moved to Burnley. So yeah, I think he's a really good player, really versatile, and under the new system with that Michael Jackson guy, who has one of the best managerial names I've ever seen in world football. They've got on amazingly since Sean Dyche has got the sack, and that's probably going to continue. Actually, I'm just going to search up quickly after us, what are Burnley's next opponent?
I do think they have some really favourable fixtures, actually. I don't think they're playing really many of the big six, to be honest, from what I...
Yeah, I mean, this is their potential to stay up, actually. They have us, obviously, tomorrow. Then next week, they have Aston Villa.
They have Arsenal tomorrow, do they?
No, was it Saturday? Oh, wait, what am I thinking? Oh, yeah, no, Saturday. My God, I need to go to bed. No, yeah, sorry. Yeah, so they have Watford on Saturday. I've said tomorrow many times in the stream. So Saturday they play us. Aston Villa next week on the 7th of May. Spurs on the 15th of May. That'll probably be a bit of a hard game. Yeah. Then Aston Villa again on the 19th of May, and then Newcastle to end the season on the 22nd of May. So it's doable. It's definitely doable. I'm just going to check Everton's because Everton's, if I can remember rightly, is absolutely horrible. So if I go onto their matches, so they have Chelsea on Sunday.
Yeah.
They have Everton. Sorry.
What
they have Leicester. Oh man, I don't know. I don't know what's happened to my brain. Sorry. They have Leicester on the 8th of May. They have us on the 11th of May, a game I'm going to finally.
Yes. Yeah.
Brentford at home on the 15th of May. Crystal Palace on the 19th of May, and then ending off the season with Arsenal on the 22nd of May. So that's definitely a harder run of games in compared to Burnley. But if you look at squad quality, again, you'd probably say Everton have the upper hand, but it hasn't shown that way, obviously, since Dyche has got the sack. And, they've been poor the whole season, Everton. So it's going to be a real tussle.
I want to move on to our starting 11 prediction now, Callum, which is a bit stupid because, yet again, as I say every stream, ever since, we've been crap, does it really matter who starts? Because we are going to get relegated anyway. I do apologise if I'm being too pessimistic, but I do want to talk about who's going to start this game. There's a couple of players I want to go a bit more in-depth into as well. We'll start off in goal. For me personally, Ben Foster goes in there. Daniel Batman is probably going to leave at the end of the season, as is Ben Foster. So just put Ben Foster in there for a bit of continuity with the defence. Right back, if he's fit, I'll go with Jeremy Ngakia. I just think he offers us a bit more physicality and defensive stability. So I'll probably go with him. Against Burnley, I think for me, you don't really need the technical attributes of Kiko Feminier. He's really good dribbling ability, good passing. But actually, Burnley are very physical. I think you need someone who's a bit stronger in defence and their defensive abilities. So I'll go with Jeremy Ngakia. Two centre-backs for me is a difficult one because we do have a lot of options. I'll probably go with Kabasele. I've been impressed. I've not really been impressed with anyone, but Kabasele's looked okay, so I'll go with Kabasele. And probably Craig Cathcart next to him as well. Of course, Callum, the guy who scored against Man City last time out. What a fantastic goal that was. Hassan Kamara. What a performance actually by him, Callum, very briefly. He was the stand-up player against Manchester City, wasn't he, really?
Yeah, he's been an exceptional left-back for us, taking over Messina, and it's probably going to be our starting left-back if he stays in the Championship, which I hope he does. I really hope he does. And he's been a revelation for us at the back, and he's really improved what looked like a really solid defence, and is shored at that left-back spot indefinitely, and hopefully his form continues on for the rest of the season now and for many seasons to come.
And yeah, that was his first Watford goal as well, so congratulations to you and Kamara for that as well. Fingers crossed he does stay with us in the Championship next season, because he literally, I've got to say, in the Championship, Kamara will probably be like prime Roberto Carlos. It'll be absolutely insane to watch. Yeah, fingers crossed we can keep hold of him. Into midfield, a lot of people have been impressed with Kuchka in recent weeks. I probably am the odd one out. I've never really liked him. It's probably a bit of an agenda. I will admit that. I've never really liked him ever since he's come in. I just don't think it's been that great. So I wouldn't play Kuchka, just me personally. I'd probably go with Sissoko, Lusa, and Kayembe, probably. Those would be the three I go with in midfield. And moving on to the front three, Ismaila Sarr on the right, of course. I'd go João Pedro up front, and Emmanuel Dennis on the left-hand side. Callum, do you agree with that? Is there any changes that you've potentially made there?
Can you say that front three again? I couldn't hear that properly.
I went Ismaila Sarr on the right, João Pedro up front, and Emmanuel Dennis on the left.
Yeah, it's practically the same as what I was thinking. I'll go through my starting 11 real quickly because I don't want to go too much over time. So yeah, we'll go Angelini in net. I'm joking. We'll go Foster in net. We'll go. I'll go Kamara. I'll say left back, exceptional left back. Our centre back choices, like you said, there we have a lot of options. So it'll be quite hard. I think if we stay consistent, I'm going to go with Kamara. Man, I don't know what's going on with me today. It's the other person starting with a K. I'll call him local man. We'll go with local man Caroselli. And we'll go with Craig Cathcart. Yeah, I'll go with the same as you. And I'm going to go with Ngakia as well because I think he's young. He's rapid. He's definitely more rapid than what Kiko is. While he doesn't provide any of the technical attributes like you said there, he's still a good option for us, especially in the game where he doesn't even really matter anymore. So it's better to give him some experience. Correct me or not if I'm wrong, but is Atiba injured?
So he come back from injury. There's a bit of a theory going on around Peter Atebo. So I'll quickly talk about it here. So he come back into the squad. It was probably a month ago he appeared on the bench, and everyone, was really happy. We thought he'd be back, within the fold of, playing some minutes and starting games. And then suddenly he's disappeared, and we don't believe he's been injured because when Watford post their injury update on the website, they usually list the players that have been injured. And he's not featured on that. So we don't think he's injured, and he's suddenly disappeared from Watford matchday squads. Now, we believe there is a clause in his contract where if he plays a certain amount of games for Watford, Watford have to pay Stoke City, I think it's £2.5 million, £3 million. So I think that's why he's not making any appearances, because if he does make an appearance, Watford are then obliged to pay that money to Stoke City for a permanent transfer for Atebo. So I do think Atebo will probably stay with us next season, but Watford are probably trying to get a lower transfer fee for him, hence why he's not made any appearances. So yeah, that's the theory I've seen on Atebo anyway, Callum.
Yeah, I mean, if that is the case, I didn't even know that was happening. So if that is the case, I can probably understand why he's been absent from a lot of match days. So I'm going to switch up my midfield. Then I'm going to go with Lusa, who's probably been a staple in our midfield, and so is Sissoko as well. So we'll go with him. Then there's a switch up between Cleverley and Kuchka because you said Kayembe. That is a shout, to be fair. And he's not started many match days in the Premier League, and we bought him for what reason, essentially? Who do I go with? Like you said there, Kuchka's put in a few good performances recently. Cleverley, I feel like he brings experience and brings almost, that powerhouse mentality, I think, to our midfield. If I'm going more on the basis of, a pivot alongside Lusa, I probably want to go with Kuchka. So I'm going to go with Kuchka. And then for our attack, I'm going to go Sarr, right wing. I've not really been impressed by his attitude recently. I feel like he's given up now because, he's thinking that we're in the Championship now. I'm going to ask for a transfer request in the Championship. It's all going to be good. So, yeah, I've not been impressed with his attitude, but I feel like he's such a quality player. We have to play him. I think João Pedro needs to start as well because, he's quality. He's young.
It's the future as well, isn't he, Callum? You want to play players that are going to be here for the long term. I think João Pedro, he's one of them players.
Definitely. I feel like he's that type of player that, actually cares about playing for the shirt. He'll play within the Championship. He'll play with us through thick and thin. And he's still so young as well, could develop to be a top player. And we actually had that interview with Victor. I think his name was Victor, wasn't he, from the Brazil thing. He said there, he has potential to be a Brazilian starter in the Brazil national team. And if he can do that and achieve that with Watford, what an achievement that would be. And he'd probably go down as an all-time legend for us. So that's going way beyond the station there. We're talking about Watford Burnley. So, I'm going to go with...
Although, to be fair, on that quickly, Callum, Richarlison's kind of done that already. He come to Watford, did really well, went to Everton, and actually Richarlison is a regular in the Brazilian national team. So it is, possible to be done for João Pedro. That pathway is there for him.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, he has potential. He's still 19, and there's obviously really young Brazilian talent like Vinicius, like Rodrigo, like Richarlison and Jesus, etc., etc. So I don't know when he will make an appearance to the final squads, but if he does, that'd be amazing. And if he can achieve that under us, that'd be even better. So yeah, we'll go Pedro up front, and I'll probably go Dennis on the left wing, and then that'll be my squad. So I've rumbled on for far too long.
That is all right, mate. Right, we'll get on to our score predictions now. I know we've been very pessimistic throughout the stream. Me and Callum both have been, so we do apologise for that. I always predict a Watford win, usually. I'm not sure I predicted one for the Man City game last week, but this week I will predict a Watford win just to make everyone a little bit happy. I think for me, Callum, I just want to go to a Watford match, sit in my seat and actually watch Watford play some entertaining football and actually score some good goals. And I don't think I've seen that for a very long time at home. Probably the last game we did that was the Man United game, and that was November. So we're currently end of April, nearly May, and I don't think I've actually been entertained since that Manchester United game. So that's how bad it's been. Score predictions. Shall I let Callum go first? Shall I go first? I'll tell you what, Callum, I'll let you think. I'll go first this week. We've talked about João Pedro quite a lot today, and I do have a good feeling that João Pedro is going to score against Burnley. So I'm going to go Watford 2, Burnley 1, João Pedro at the double, and Vijra to score for Burnley. So there you go. That's my score prediction. Callum, what's yours?
God, this is a hard one to think because, I mean, while, it doesn't really matter anymore, to be honest. I mean, if we get a win, that'd be brilliant. But if we get a draw or a loss, which is probably the more realistic option, it almost confirms what we already know. Looking at the squad and what we just discussed, we still do have amazing attacking threat that have given up. I think now because they've realised. I think all bar João Pedro, because João Pedro's been pretty decent for us. Players like Dennis and Sarr, they've been caught up too much in their own ego, and I think they've realised they're playing Championship next season. I want to move away. So I feel like I'm going to go with a 2-1 Burnley win. I'm sorry. Okay, I've gone for that purely because they still do have players like Wout Weghorst they brought in the summer. They have Matij Vijra as well.
I can't speak properly. I completely forgot about Weghorst because he come in. He did really well them first couple of games, and actually, I don't think he's scored. I think he might have only scored 2 goals since he come in. So I think you made a good point actually about bringing him up. I think he's isn't he 6'6"? He's absolutely massive. So yeah, I'm quite
actually worried. Wait. There's a few people in the comments that have just said negative Callum, negative vibes. I've seen a few people. I'm just going to read out a few predictions from some people in the live chat. So VJ's put 3-1 to Watford. He's put Lusa, Kuchka, and Pedro as the scorers. Yeah. Fair enough. I mean, if Kuchka can get a goal, that'll be brilliant. Then I'm going to try and pronounce that. Owen Walno. I'm sorry if I've completely butchered that. I said 3-1 as well. He's gone with Dennis at the double, Pedro, and then Weghorst to get the goal for Burnley. Adam Tomlinson's put 3-2, so that's going to be a very highly contested game then apparently. And Hal Pedro hat-trick, that'd be amazing.
I'll tell you what that is. That's pure entertainment. Adam knows exactly what I want. I want pure entertainment, 3-2, João hat-trick, 95th minute winner. Thank you very much, Adam. That is exactly what I want to see. Thank you.
And having said that, I'm changing my prediction. I'm going for a 2-1 Watford win.
Wow, there you go. So your comment.
There you go, guys. Positive comes back for the first time in a few months.
There we go. All right. Thank you very much. There you go. Owen says you got it right.
Callum. Thank God. Okay, cool. I thought I butchered
that. Right, Callum, thank you very much for coming on. You can follow Callum's Instagram page at the Hornets House. His giveaway is still running, so make sure you go and check that out.
3 more days.
Is it
4 more days? Is it 4 more days or 3 more days?
I think there's over 70 comments on that post, Callum, isn't there? So I think it's doing really, really
well.
Yeah,
it's done well. Yeah, very well. Yeah, so there is 4 more days, sorry. 2nd of May is when the giveaway runs out. If you don't know what it is a Watford 21-22 team signed away shirt that has been kindly gifted to me in association with the Alan Day Group. The post up on my page, if you can go and find it, it shouldn't be too far down because I posted a bit about the Man City game. But if you find it, it'll be there make sure you follow the steps in the caption, because I've seen a few people, they've done one part of the caption but not done the rest of the other. So remember, you need to do all 4 steps of the caption to enter. And I'll be counting up all the people that have done it correctly. And on my story, May the 2nd at 1 p.m, I'll be counting up all the people that have done it correctly, and I'll be picking a winner from random. I'm not going to pick a winner just off my own accord. It will be off a random spinner, and I'll make sure that it's random as well, because so you guys can see I've not rigged anything. So yeah, I'm going to stop rambling on. Also, as well, can I just point out something quickly before we go?
Yeah.
I've already mentioned it as well. There is a scam account of the Hornets House account going around at the moment, which is a huge shame. It is very annoying. I can't do much about it, but all I can really do now is just inform you guys there is a scam account going around. That is at the Hornets House _team. If you do see it around or they contact you, please do block and report it. It would mean a lot, because it isn't me. This is my only account here down there, the Hornets House. That's my only account. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say. I'm going to start rambling on. 2nd of May, be there or be square.
Or be square. Thank you very much, Callum. Appreciate it. Of course, you can follow The Watford Way on all our social media pages down in the description below. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Of course, here on YouTube as well. And fingers crossed, next time we're chatting to you, we'll be talking about very, very entertaining Watford win. Fingers crossed. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Saturday, going to go to the burger van, probably get a cheese dog. Lovely caramelized onions on there as well, Callum. Very £3.50, absolute bargain. What's your go-to match day food, Callum?
I'm a massive fan of the burgers. I think their burgers are brilliant. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of hot dogs myself, so that wasn't something I'd normally opt for. I would eat a hot dog, but it's not my go-to. I go for a burger, a lovely bit of ketchup on there, and some mustard. That's all you can ask for really on a match day. Is perfect. I mean, there's always like a go-to for many people's pies. I'm not a huge fan of the pies though.
No, you know what? Pies are like a good thing to go for when it's like cold, rainy, it's December, it's November, it's Christmas time, it's warm, it's filling. That's kind of when pies are good. But we're in April now. The days are getting longer, they're getting lighter, it's getting warmer. I don't really want to be eating like a steak pie. It's just not something that really. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you. And also as well, like, it's just the variation of pie flavors as well. I'm not a huge fan, but anyway, it's going off board because got to compliment Watford and everything they do. They're our club. Their pies are the best pies in the Premier League. So yeah, it's all good.
Adam asked a quick question. He says, James, are you going to do an Instagram live before the games? I probably will do, actually. So if you follow us at TheWatfordWay on Instagram, the last couple of Watford home games have gone live on the side of the pitch, basically, just talking to you guys and just answering questions about the game, really. So if you follow us at TheWatfordWay on Instagram, if we go live, turn on your notifications for our page. About 1:30, quarter to 2, probably on the match day. We'll go live before the game and chat to you. So there you go. Thank you very much for that, Adam. Again, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys very, very soon. Bye-bye.